Hi, I'm Gary, welcome to my channel. In today's Telford catch-up, I'm looking at the new Westland Lysander in 1/48 scale from AIRFIX. The team there gave me the chance to get an early look at the kit, although the decal sheet has yet to arrive. Let's start with the box itself. So here it is, the Lysander Mark 1 and Mark 3 in 1/48 scale from AIRFIX. The product code is A07116, which is a Series 7 kit. This is lovely box art by Adam Tooby. It looks a bit magenta to me, but I'm told this is a pre-production run of the box art. So when it comes out, the clouds will look a little bit better. But actually on the video, they're not showing up too badly, so they're okay. On the long side, as usual, we have a brief history of the aircraft. We have a statement here that the kit, when it's finished, will be 192 millimeters long, 316 millimeters wide, and there are 171 parts included. There are two schemes here on the sides, as usual. There's a call out for the paints, and there's your token for 3 flying hours, and a pointer that this is a skill level 3 kit, which means you really would be wise to have built something else before you have a crack at making this. But all the parts look amazing. Here we have frame A, and as you can see, we have the two halves of the cockpit. We have the base of the cockpit with the undercarriage supports. We have the tail section as well, and the flaps and slats for the wings. And on frame B, we have the wings themselves as well, and these are in two halves, one for each side of the aircraft. Frame C contains the inner framework of the aircraft, as well as the cantilever struts that hold the wings on. You can see from here, the whole purpose of this plane is you build the central frame structure and then wrap the fuselage around it. It's exactly the same as they did with the Anson. Frame D, we have all the cockpit parts, seats, control columns, we have the bombs, we have the pilot figures, and we have the armaments here, lots of various bits and pieces, and of course the propeller. And then frame E has all the engine parts here, engine nacelles, the spats, and the undercarriage. And finally we have frame X, and that's of course all the many transparent parts. There's going to be lots of options here for having cockpit parts and rear cabin parts open or closed and things like that. There's a lot of options available here. Have a nice close look at the plastic here and the design. You can see the way that the fabric of the rear body folds over the ribs underneath is absolutely beautiful. Metal parts, nice and clear, crisp and clean. Panel lines are going to look so easy to do washes with. Large rivets, well, these are DSOS fasteners probably to make it easier to fix. And they're all there. Interestingly, they've got this tiny window at the back here. This was for checking ballast apparently, because it's very sensitive in pitch to the trim. But you can see, very nicely moulded, very cleanly moulded. Plastic looks pretty good, I have to say. Let's look at some of these control areas again. Nice rivet detail and nice moulding of all the parts, nice sort of modelling of the very slight, like, almost like oil canning, I guess, of the surface. These new pilot figures look really nice. The Irvin flying jacket and the harnesses look nice and crisp and clean. They're going to be very easy to paint. Hands look nicely done, and the faces. Which way up is he? That way up. Yep, there we go. Faces look nicely moulded as well. So these will paint up really easily. The seats have got nice ruffling on the leatherwork. That's the instrument panel with its relief as well. And you'll notice the small parts, all the smaller bits and pieces, all seem to be very clean. The smaller, like 20-pound bombs, yeah. Single piece mouldings, they look grand. And look, there's this carousel of magazines for the rear gunner to use, which is always quite amusing as well. Very, very well moulded. The instruction booklet, very typical of modern AIRFIX. The scale and title up here. The product code A07116, of course it's a Series 7 kit. And the basic information here in English, French, German, Spanish and Swedish, as well as some basic technical specs of the aircraft. Inside there's the usual assembly instructions as normal, and of course the translation of the icons used. And then we're into the instructions. You'll have noticed of late they seem to be a little small. You get more onto a page, but they're still very readable. As you can see here, this is where the sort of structure comes in, the sort of network of things on the inside, the tubular structure on the inside, which is good. And it builds up completely like that. There's a lot of interior detail here, and there's a lot that you get covered up, but the guys at AIRFIX tell me there are some pinholes here where you can, to help you try and drill out some areas if you want to show more of the interior, which I think is a pretty cool idea. All the rest of it seems fairly straightforward. The tailplane had a variable instance as well for trim, as that's been reproduced as well. There's all the different versions of the spats. Yeah, everything looks great on this. The mass of choices of canopies, depending on what mark and whether you want it open or closed. There's just a huge amount of choice there, which is always good to know. And there we go, and the engine there, and the armaments here as well. And that's pretty much the kit. There's a lot of choices there. I'm impressed by that. And then we have the schemes, of course. Scheme A is the Westland Lysander Mark 1 from number 16 Squadron, IF Old Sarum in Salisbury, Wiltshire, just before the war, 1938 to 39. You'll notice it has the black and white underside scheme. But interesting, low visibility roundels, which I guess is quite unusual for pre-war era. On the other side is the scheme for 309 Polish Fighter Reconnaissance Squadron, based at Renfrew in Glasgow, in Scotland. And this is with the sky undersides as well. And of course, the yellow bombs, because we used to paint our bombs yellow. This is an aircraft flown during 1940. There it is. I love the way the framework is built first, then the fuselage builds up around it. I like the array of options, and I like the quality of the moulding. There's even a set of reference marks on the starboard fuselage that suggest the part of the side to remove if you want to have a cutaway fuselage. This kit was designed by Chris Parker-Joy, who, you may recall, also made this year's amazing B-24 Liberator. What a talented chap. Anyway, that's all for today. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Take good care now, and goodbye.